Hello, FPL managers, and welcome to Fantasy Football Hub's Game Week 6 captaincy video with me, James. As always, I'm joined by FPL legend, FPL Salah. Abdul, how was your Game Week 5?
Yeah, I had a really good game week this week, James. I got 77 points. Mostly thanks to Ben Rama and Ivan Tony. So yeah, it was a good week. It was quite satisfying actually, because as we were talking about earlier on as well for the recording, it's good when your players haul, ones that you've kept faith in and been patient with. So yeah, it was a good week for me.
You just had to bring them up, didn't you? Just
Sorry, man.
been
Sorry.
just been talking off air
Just the
about how I
purposes
got
of
rid
the
of
video.
them. If you're one of the many managers who got rid of the likes of Tony and Ben Rama last week, fear not, because Game Week 6 is just around the corner and anything could happen. We're here to talk about Game Week Six's captaincy options. We've got a couple of differentials in there and two of the more obvious ones. You can probably guess who they are already. Let's get into it right away, Abdul. And we're going to start with the returning Mikel Antonio, who was, of course, out for Game Week 5, has a great fixture, though, in Game Week 6.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing Leeds, who we know what Leeds are like defensively. From last season, even this season, they've conceded the most shots in the box, the most shots on target, and also they're the second most XGC as well. They've got a 10.8 XGC, which only Newcastle are worse than them. So yeah, they're still conceding a lot of chances in defence, and West Ham have been good going forward. And we've seen the start that Antonio's had. Was it 4 goals and 2 assists? I think 4 goals and 4 assists. Actually, sorry, getting mixed up. But yeah, I mean, he's had a nice rest. Obviously, that red card he got with game week 4 was it's quite unexpected. But yeah, he's coming back for a great fixture against Leeds.
And with Brentford, and Everton, I've combined the two there.
Brenton.
Brenton. That's what we call it in the biz. With Brentford and Everton in the next two after Leeds, do you think if you were one of those that got rid of Antonio for Game Week 5, that it's worth bringing him back, even if you're not going to captain him against Leeds?
Um, I mean, it really depends who you're kind of taking out. I mean, I guess a lot of managers who got rid of Antonio would have been for Bamford, and I think if that's the case, then you probably just need to stick with Bamford because he's also, got a good fixture as well. Leeds are at home. We know Leeds are going to attack. Bamford's on penalties as well. So yeah, it really depends who for. But I think, for the most cases, if you've got rid of Antonio, you probably have to kind of see it through now.
Okay, interesting. All right, let's move on to the differential that you picked for this week. And it's Jamie Vardy, who's one of those players who it is a differential, absolutely. But season and season again, we find ourselves forgetting about Jamie Vardy. And yet somehow, Abdul, he finds himself as the second highest forward so far after 5 game weeks.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. He's second highest scoring forward. He's got 3 goals and assists so far, and he's actually dropped by point one in price. He started off at 10.5, he's 10.4 now. So, I mean, I know that's got a lot to do with like the kind of abundance of other forward options we've got, like the likes of Jimenez, Bamford, Antonio, who are a lot cheaper. But yeah, he seems to be ticking along and going really under the radar. Even looking at his stats, he's had 10 shots in the box. He's got an XG of 1.95 and an expected assist of 0.59. So we know he's got goal and goal and assist threat, which makes him such a dangerous player. And he's on penalties as well. I mean, last season he got 15 goals and 14 assists. So I mean, he's one of those players he's got. He's a creator and a scorer, which makes as an FPL asset is obviously fantastic. It's just what we're looking for. And yeah, fantastic fixture this week.
I feel like Jamie Vardy is one of those players, and this is completely anecdotal, where managers don't bring him in for the first 5 or 6 game weeks, and then he scores a hat
Mm.
trick quite early on in the season, and suddenly everyone thinks, "Oh, blimey, we've got to start considering him again." Very difficult for any manager with a conventional lineup to fit him into teams at the moment, particularly with Lukaku and Ronaldo, both
Yeah.
highly desired assets, but you can never rule him out, and I think it's a great differential shout. Right, let's move on to the two main candidates for this week, surely. They are Salah and Ronaldo. I've got them both on screen here, Abdul, for your benefits. I know you can't see the screen at the moment. And on here, I've got their key stats side by side. Now, of course, Ronaldo only has 2 appearances so far. Salah has 5. So we have to bear that in mind. But it's remarkable the dent that Ronaldo has made in those underlying stats, given that he's only played 180 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, since his arrival, James, he's actually first for shots in the box, shots on target, big chances, and expected goals. So for game week 4 and 5, I mean that's the only kind of sample size we can use. But within those 2 games, he's top for everything. In terms of attacking metrics. So yeah, I think a lot of us were expecting him to kind of be putting up those numbers. But I was a bit skeptical as well. Just I didn't know how he was. How good of an FPL asset he was going to be, but he's kind of proved that he's going to be one of the top options. And again, a great fixture, home fixture. Villa, they're not the worst at the back actually. They've been quite decent defensively this season, but with the firepower that United have got, and with the Ronaldo spearheading that attack, I think he is he's in definitely the top 2. For top 2 captain options this week.
Let's talk about Salah, because one notable difference in their underlying stats is the creative outlet. We see that Ronaldo, very impressive when it comes to XG, but only 1 key pass so far and an XA of 0.53, which is arguably low for quite a free-scoring Man United side. Meanwhile, Salah, 2.06 XA and 14 key passes. So he's kind of got that extra element to his game that maybe Ronaldo is yet to find.
Definitely. I mean, I think Salah is still by far, better FPL asset than Ronaldo. And over the 5 game weeks, Salah is first for shots on target and expected goals, and he's actually third for expected assists. So yeah, as you just mentioned, he's got assists in his locker as well. He's a midfielder, so he obviously gets an extra goal for scoring and the clean sheet points. But it's just remarkable. Like he's had an incredible start to the season. He's got 4 goals and 3 assists, and he's on 50 points already, which is the quickest he's ever reached 50 points. Since he's been in the Premier League. Wow. Even quicker than his 2017-18 season when he got 32 goals and 14 assists. So he's been remarkable, and it could be another special season on the cards for Salah here. But he just obviously simply been incredible. And again, Brentford is actually is actually not as easy as a fixture as it looks on paper. If you look at Brentford's actually defensive stats, they're actually second for XGC, just behind Man City. After 5 games, so that's pretty damn impressive for like a promoted team. I still think Liverpool have too much for them, and I still think Salah's in too good of a. He's put up his numbers, underlying numbers are too good, for him to be ignored. But it's just something I think to note that I don't think Brentford's going to be a walkover.
No, they do have some very impressive defensive numbers. And what about this home versus away factor as well, Abdul? If you speak to Bakar in his previews, he often talks about how he's really focusing on players that have home fixtures this season, particularly compared to last season, now that we have crowds back in stadiums. Is that something that's factoring into your thinking when choosing between these two as well?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think a home versus away, it's always been a factor. And I think it's always something I take into consideration when looking at the captaincy. And it's why I've, despite, all the kind of praise I've given to Salah, it's why I've currently actually got the captain's armband on Ronaldo, simply because it's a home fixture. Historically we know that, home, like the home team that does better, I think this season, obviously the numbers have been up from last season, but I do think it will probably kind of regress to the mean. I think it's probably it's only kind of the first 5 game weeks. And, saying that, I mean, the home and away factor is always there. But yeah, it's interesting that this season, obviously, with the crowds back, I think kind of initially the players, they have that kind of adrenaline rush, and with the fans back and that. But I think once they get used to it, and it'll probably kind of kind of even out.
Yeah, I have to say, I think if it was Salah playing Brentford at Anfield and Ronaldo away at Villa, it would look very, very different. And I probably would have
Oh,
the
definitely.
armband on Salah, but I agree with you. For me, it's got to be Ronaldo. If you look at Chris Town's captaincy article that he does for the Hub each week as well, you'll see that the poll that he takes is very much in favour of Ronaldo. He does seem to be this week's
Yeah,
most popular captain. You can see, I mean, 5 big chances already. He actually has more big chances than Salah, and he's played 3 games less. So Ronaldo is going to be a juggernaut.
yeah,
For those of you who are bringing Ronaldo in on the plan to then get rid of him for Lukaku in game week 7, that's going to be one hell of a decision to have to make. I'm in that bracket
yeah.
at the moment, and I just can't see myself getting rid of Ronaldo in the form that he's in. But let's see if he can continue it.
I just want to just another thing to note on Ronaldo as well. It
Mm.
does seem that the team is just trying to get as many balls into him as possible. I mean, it was another stat that I actually seen on Bakar's Twitter, which said that Shaw was actually 19th for crosses in the box before Ronaldo arrived, but since his arrival, he's actually first now. For crosses into the box. So
Incredible.
it's clear that they're probably getting instructions. Get the ball into Ronaldo. He's always good in the air. So that's another factor to take into consideration as well. That he's obviously the kind of focal point of their attack.
Yeah, those two seem to be linking up incredibly well already, which is concerning. As someone who
Definitely.
also got rid of Shaw on my wild card, watching Man United games is no fun, really. Bruno's gone, Greenwood's gone, so it's Ronaldo has given them so much potency. I think you're absolutely right. He lifts the players around him too. Abdul, thank you so much. This has been really, really insightful. Ronaldo will have your armband. I think he's going to have mine as well. But Salah could be an interesting, potentially differential this game week as far as captaincy goes. I see that Ronaldo is now the second most owned player in the game. So his effective ownership, I hate to mention it feels like saying Voldemort's name, but his effective ownership is going to be very
Yeah,
high, I
it's going to be
imagine, for
high.
game week 6.
Yeah.
Right. Well, good luck for game week 6, mate. Do keep an eye
You too.
out. Hub members, do keep an eye out for Abdul's team reveal that he'll be dropping later on in the week. You'll find out if he's going to make any transfers, who he's going to bring in. And of course, there'll be confirmation of his captaincy there as well. And if you're new around here, do consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. Drop this video a like if you've enjoyed it. And thank you for joining us. We'll be back next week ahead of game week 7, weighing up captaincy options. Until then, good luck for game week 6, guys. Cheers, Abdul.
Cheers, James.
Bye bye.